Hey guys, happy October. I'm very excited about the fact that it is now spooky season, and I don't know, I just feel like this year I've been appreciating autumn a lot more than I have like ever previously. Anyway, so this is my official first finished observational sketchbook flip through. So observational sketchbook, the concept of it is pretty self-explanatory. You basically draw what you see, bring it with you everywhere, and you kind of like, when you find a moment to sit down and you have a picture in front of you, or like a building or a place or people, you kind of just whip it out and you sketch everything down as quickly as you can and as accurately as you can. And the aim is, the more you do it, the better you become at eye to hand coordination. You become more confident in drawing in general, and your realism hopefully improves, which I think has been the case for me. So I'm excited to flip through it with you guys and show you my journey. And I don't want to say much because it's pretty self-explanatory. Again, like, these are all just places I've sketched down, but I do have a few drawings kind of like marked with post-it notes to kind of explain what they are a bit more, because I found them especially interesting. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the cover is pretty simple. I have a red art creation small sketchbook. I love art creation so much. They are really cheap in the UK for some reason, and they just have amazing quality paper. Like, this is very durable compared to my last sketchbook tour. My sketchbook looked really ragged and falling apart. This one, you can tell that there's like some alterations due to time, but honestly, all in all, it's held up very, very well. So yeah. Then the cover, we've got, most of these stickers are from the vintage shop in my town. It's like my number one place to get stickers, I'm not gonna lie. And then I have a few Spider-Man stickers from like this really cheap Spider-Man sticker book you could literally get at like your local grocery shop. So there's nothing really interesting to it. And then the back, again, these stickers are from the vintage shop in my town. This is from my old school. It's basically like a ticket you'd get if you handed in your homework or something, and you can kind of by the end of the year collect a lot of them and win prizes. And I kept this one for memories. And another Spider-Man sticker from that cheap booklet. Okay, let's get into it. So this is obviously the first sticker page. I've got my personal details. Again, most of these stickers are from my vintage shop in my town. We've got some Spider-Man stickers from the same cheap sticker booklet. And we've got Ace glued in here to look cool. I had no idea what I was doing in this page. I just wanted to make it look interesting. So here we can tell it took me like a year pretty much to finish this sketchbook, which it's kind of a pattern with most of my sketchbooks. It takes me like a year roughly to finish them, because I kind of put them away when I don't feel like drawing, and I don't kind of force myself to finish them quickly. So plus I don't really have the time usually, because I'm also a student and I have other responsibilities, and drawing isn't always something that I can do all the time. So it took me a year, but I'm happy with the outcome. So let's get into the flip through. Okay, so this page has a little sticker, and basically what I wanted to talk about here was, this was my little brother's sports day at his primary school. I think the way I kind of drew it, I was struggling a little bit. If you look at the houses, they're quite uneven, but I tried doing it as quickly as possible, and I also ran in a race. It was technically the mom's race, but no one really cared. And I got 3rd place, which is pretty bad considering I was probably the youngest there. But hopefully, now that my fitness journey has really improved from last year, from literally last year, maybe I would get 1st place if I went now. Okay, this also has a post-it note. So this page, I was going on like this book date with my friend, and I was gonna draw everything in this green pen, but it ran out, so I just about finished drawing her, and then I was like, dang, I have to switch pens. And I really, really love the way it came out because it looks intentional and it adds a little bit of colour, and even though that was not what I was going for, I wanted everything to be in green, but I think it looks really cool like this. So, yeah, sometimes accidents perhaps lead to a better outcome. Okay, this one also has a little post-it note on it. This was during my holiday in Poland. I went to visit my family. And on here it says Philip's Treasures in Polish. Basically, my cousin, he has this hobby where he just goes to search for stuff in the ground, and he has this little box of treasures he's found. And when he showed them to me, I was really inspired because they were so whimsical and beautiful. And also probably to do with like the past of the land that they live on, and it was just really interesting, and so I drew a lot of them because I just thought it looked really cool. So this one also has a post-it note. Basically, this was after the summer holiday. This was like my first, I think, week in 6th form. I moved 6th form from my old secondary school. I barely had any friends who came there with me, so I think this is a really cool picture because I think this was like, it looks good, right? You can tell what it is pretty clearly, but also it kind of gives you like a little glimpse into kind of like my state of like school life at this point. Because first of all, this is a study period, and I mean, if I drew this during a study period, it meant I had like no work to do, which is quite funny. And I look back at that time with a lot of jealousy because now the amount of schoolwork I have is pretty overwhelming, but it's okay. Then you can also like see that it took me a lot of time to draw, because not only did I not have schoolwork, but also I kind of didn't have many friends at the beginning of the school year. And honestly, I think it was a very necessary part of my journey of 6th form because I feel like I didn't really rely on people to feel validated and accepted. I was fine with being alone, mainly because I didn't want to kind of chase friendships and force new friends and kind of cling to people just so that I don't appear as like a lonely person. But in the end, I did find an amazing group of friends, and it wasn't because I pried or clung to people, but because I kind of naturally let those friendships develop on their own accord. So this gives me a really amazing memory when it comes to 6th form. Okay, so this is the last page. I have a post-it note glued to, and this page is really cool because it's not actually my drawings. My friend was really bored, so I kind of gave him this sketchbook and I was like, you can have a double page and you can draw like whatever you want on the double page. So he basically drew his tag, which is super cool, and then he drew fan art of like Hollow Knight characters, which I think is also pretty cool and kind of a little fun detail that I'm going to look back on really fondly. Okay, that is basically the end of this entire sketchbook. It looks really thick, and I'm actually really proud of finishing this because, again, I started this sketchbook roughly at the same time that I was drawing in my old sketchbook. At that point, I hadn't finished any sketchbooks, and I was like, oh my god, will I get through these? But I did, and I finished it, and I'm really happy with it. And I'm just happy I finished it, honestly. Okay, so the final thoughts and kind of like things I learned and things that are really useful in terms of what I want to tell you and what I would tell myself at the beginning of the sketchbook was progress is like inevitable with an observational sketchbook. I recommend it so much. It's literally amazing. And to kind of show proof of that, I have quite a lot of cool drawings that are kind of in similar situations that definitely have improved. For example, so this drawing right here was me going on holiday. I was on a plane and I decided to draw it. And, you know, it's not bad by any means. You can pretty much tell it's kind of like a transport-ish situation. But then I drew the same kind of like scene when I was going on holiday a year from this drawing in this same sketchbook. Here it is. So this was a double page. This is a year after the drawing I just showed you, and I think honestly it's so obvious. The improvements are crazy, like when in comparison. Here is very 2D. It's very much cartoonish. There's not really, I mean, there is perspective, but it's not super amazing. It kind of feels like I could have drawn this just by thinking about kind of the memory of what it's like to be in a plane. But then this, like, the detail isn't great either by any means because I drew this really quickly. Especially here, you can tell I was kind of giving up. But, like, the perspective, like, it's crazy. I love it so much. Like, you can see the people in their seats here. You can see this seat, like, kind of, it goes out like this instead of straight because it's from my kind of perspective specifically, so it's a lot more detailed. You've got my brother's legs, you've got my other brother's phone, you've got a little peek at the window. It's so much better, and honestly, this is the kind of progress I develop in the sketchbook. So again, like, amazing idea. I love this so much, and I really recommend that you start your own. Another thing that I wanted to talk about when it comes to the final ideas is it's just like such an amazing way to document your life and to kind of have this kind of bank of memories to look on, because it's kind of like a little gallery of photos that you would have on your phone or your camera, but it's twice as valuable because it's literally your interpretation. Like, you drew it from your own mind, and I think that's so much more amazing because you can kind of remember the exact feelings you felt at that stage in your life, and it's just like such an amazing idea. So please, 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 I really recommend you also start an observational sketchbook. It's literally such a nice idea. It's relaxing, it's quite therapeutic, it helps with art, it is amazing. So that's basically all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that it helped, and I hope that it inspired you to kind of think about starting your own observational sketchbook. Like I said, it's a brilliant idea. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like, leave a comment, please subscribe, and have a lovely rest of your day.